So we are at the invisible LinkedIn funnel, and this is how smart business owners are quietly filling their pipeline without ads, without fancy funnels, and without posting every day, which I know most of us hate, right? So what you're going to learn today is the overlooked habits that drive leads, the daily actions that build traction, and the mistakes to avoid, and how to create the simple system called the invisible LinkedIn funnel that is quietly building your sales pipeline without being aggressive or spammy. So, why LinkedIn works, and it's really underutilized. There's a massive opportunity for those who do show up the right way. And I think it says 900 million users. I think it's actually over a billion now, but um, it's just rapidly growing, and there's only 2% people that are using it and that are posting on it daily. So your content can absolutely stand out. Another reason why, not only because you're going to have the rhythm, but that you can stand out because there's only 2% of people that are posting, right? And I believe I just saw this that the length of your post staying is like 7 days, where on Facebook it's one, right? And Instagram is one. So it's sitting there a little bit longer too. It's the number one platform for B2B lead gen and used by 96% of B2B marketers. So it's really rapidly growing. Again, a lot of people aren't using it. They use it for like as a resume, really is what they're using it for. So this is why most people don't get clients on LinkedIn, because they don't have a repeatable system. I'm going to talk about consistency a lot, and we hear that a lot, right? Like, and that was really a problem that I had for the longest time, is like being consistent. But yeah, they don't have the consistency and the outreach and the follow-up. And by the way, ladies, at the end of this, I'm going to give you a full playbook that will have all of this information in it, so you know, you can take notes if you want, and I'm a big note taker. I would still be scribbling, but I just wanted to let you know that, there's a lot on each slide, and that's so I don't forget anything, but you will get the full playbook. Anyway, so they rely heavily on the content to do the heavy lifting, which isn't necessary, and they waste time networking, but without a clear plan, right? I know before I had this set up, you're just kind of blindly like, sure, let's have a coffee chat, reaching out to people that maybe aren't ideal, and or the opposite, they're reaching out to you and you're like, well, maybe there's a possibility. And then next thing you know, your calendar is filled up with coffee chats, which, it's a good thing and a bad thing, right? We don't have a lot of time in the day. And I know I had to stop doing that and stop giving out my calendar link. Sorry, this is not moving ahead here. There we go. Go back. Oh, sorry, ladies. Okay, so these are the real results. Oh, I apologize. I love my Mac, but you know what it's like when your fingers touch the thing. There we go. So one of the important things, I feel like a broken record with the define your audience, find your ideal client, right? It is super, super important to know exactly who you want to attract. Hopefully you do have a sales navigator helping you out with that, which is tremendous. And you can, use filters, and it's going to help you find literally thousands of ideal clients, right, Linda? We know that they're
Yes,
coming
yes, ma'am.
crazy. It helps you stay consistent with the targeting too. So these are the 7 habits of LinkedIn, and these are for lead generation. So it's connecting with intention, okay, welcoming new connections, using the built-in or a re-engagement type of outreach as far as birthdays, anniversaries. We're all notified each day. I don't know if you pay attention to that, but you do get the notification when someone starts a new role or anything like that. And what you want to do is take advantage of that. You do want to be wishing happy birthday. You do want to be warming up your first connections. You want to be nurturing them, and you're getting lovely messages in return. People really appreciate that. Now, of course, the bigger that your, followers get. Right now I have almost 14,000. So again, you take that into consideration of how many birthdays are in a day. But there's a lot of time that and now I have my VA helping, just replying just to the birthdays, just to the thank you so much. How are you? What's new with you? Or just a simple thank you, but we're staying top of mind. So that re-engagement, it's not just a lead generator going out to the second and third level connections, pulling people in. It's actually keeping those that are already there nurtured and warm. Check your profile viewers. So what that means is who's checking your profile and are you reaching out to them? Are you saying, hey, I see that you checked out my profile. It can be a little bit, depending on who it is, but it can help. They're warm, right? They've already looked at your profile for the most part. You decide on that, but that's a great way to reach out. And then follow up lightly, which is, meaning your first connections are there to, you know, again, nurture and share, not pummel, but what do you have going on? What type of offers, what type of, like for this event, share the event. Don't be constantly everything that you have going on, and you can be strategic about that too, as far as if you want to narrow the list down of who's getting what. So it's really ideal. Um, Depending on what it is that you're sharing. Like I have a few things, right? I have Elevate Connect, then I have the consulting. I actually have another project I'm working on. So there's a different ideal client for that. But not just throwing it out there, what you have going on, right, to everybody that's on your list. Now, okay, and there is a way to um, well, I'm jumping ahead here, but yeah, it's just basically being really mindful and checking out who it is that you're reaching out to with your offers and that they align. So they're not like, who is this person spamming me, right? You only need to post once a week when you are consistent. You don't need to post every day. You do not. This works, and this in LinkedIn is um, they value activity and they want you to, be active. So when you're posting, when you're reaching out, when you're doing those 20 to 40 outreaches a day and you're, yeah, you do, or you're a little busy when you're doing this, yourself, but when you're doing the outreach and when you're replying and your profile is constantly active, once a week is just fine. And then commenting strategically, right? So keeping an eye on your ideal clients. What are they posting? Liking those posts, of course, if you agree, and then commenting, making you're the go-to person, right? You're the expert. So what does that look like? Don't just comment to comment. Make sure that it's strategic. So the 7 habits, again, we talked a little bit about it, but the habit 1 is connecting with intention. You're going to send 20 to 40 personalized invites a day to the second and third level connections. LinkedIn allows you to do 100 per day. It's pretty tough. And I mean, if you can, you can, but you also want to kind of stay under the radar and, that type of thing. Um, it's optional if you send a connection message. I don't, I will just connect. It's easier because the next day it gives me the opportunity to thank whoever connected with me. And again, they're going to check out my profile. You want to make sure that your profile is optimized and then just outreach the next day. And I get a lot of nice messages from that, like, this is great, or I look forward to seeing you in my feed and that type of thing. So, and if they don't want to connect, they're not going to connect. This is why they're ideal, right? So if they look at your profile, like, oh, this is somebody I'd like to get to know for maybe not even working with you, but maybe a JV partner, maybe they see you're a podcast host, maybe they, want to collaborate in some way. So there's a lot of different ways. It's not just for bringing in clients. And then habit 2 is, welcoming that new connection, just a simple, friendly, hello, maybe 1 to 2 sentences tops, no pitch, no links whatsoever. That is a big turnoff. And this is going to build the relationship that you've just started with this person. And it also trains the algorithm. And then habit three is to re-engage. Again, I touched on a few of these things, so forgive me for repeating myself, but just want to make sure that we get everything covered here. Nurturing is huge, not just bringing new people in constantly. It's taking care, keeping them in your sphere, taking care of those that you have. Again, wishing happy birthday. I said to Linda, I actually had to turn that off because there were so many people that I had to reply to. So some of these things, it's a lot, right? But it's a good thing. It's a good problem to have. Uh, Congratulating them on new job anniversaries, new roles that they have. This is just a great way to stay top of mind. Again, you're constantly there. Like, who is this? Oh my gosh, yeah. I actually had one gal who said, you know what? You kept coming to me and I said, I got to find out what she's all about. And she booked a call. So, I mean, some of it's funny, but for the most part, it's, real connections. And her and I actually we have a nice collaboration going on. And again, great conversation starter. So when you're reaching out with happy birthdays and they come back to you, a lot of them say to me, hey, what's new with you? Oh, perfect. Right? I didn't even have to go to them. I'm like, oh, well, by the way, I have Elevate Connect, so it's perfect. So these are just some of there are many, many more. I asked my VA to put a few in there, but these are just some of the replies that I get that are really nice. Yeah, great to connect, or can I have your calendar link, or I've heard, it's so refreshing to not be pitched, that type of thing. So, um, anyway, and you want to have it for us checking your profile, reviews. Who I talked about this already, but who's reviewed your profile? They are warm. Send a connection request with a friendly message, and don't wait for them to reach out. Just take that upon yourself to do that. Again, follow up lightly, send 25 to 50 low pressure DMs weekly to your first level connections. That's what we were talking about earlier, whether it's something new you have going on, an event, an offer, just checking in. You can just ask them a question. You can send an article, something like really thoughtful. Oh, I think you would like this podcast. These simple things really stand out and really makes you look like the expert. And not only that, just not spammy, like what they're used to getting all day long for the most part. So these little soft nudges, as we call them, they're building the relationship. And we all know too, however many touches it takes now to actually get a sale, right? uh, it's a lot. So we want to keep these, just stay top of mind. These soft touches add up. So again, posting once a week is fine if you're being consistent with the outreach. Okay. And then also with the posting, mix up the content, have it be educational, entertaining, thought provoke, thought provoking, and or empathetic, inspirational. Um, Actually, if Justin Welsh, he's got a great program. I think it's like $97 or something like that. I can share. I'll look up that link if you're interested. It's fabulous as far as what type of content to post that really works and gets great feedback. And it's curious, and it's again it's just a nice mix. So it's not the constant, um, what we're seeing, especially with AI now. I think we all know, right? You can tell when these posts are AI. And it's we want to make sure that they're human. Hang on here. Here we go. Oh, so I lost my seventh habit. Sorry about that. Again, my fingers are, hold on. What I can tell you. Yeah, it's just commenting on others' posts, right? Being visible, being the expert. So, and this is why they work. You're building trust before the sale by creating multiple touch points. So, and it trains LinkedIn's algorithm to keep you visible And again, all of these things in combination keep you top of mind when they are ready to buy and or refer to you if it's not right, the right time for them or the right offer, also to collaborate with, to partner with, etc. Right? Like, who is this person? I keep saying I know exactly what she does. Just being top of mind, being out there. And there's nothing spammy about this. It's just consistent and it's strategic visibility. So here's part two of the invisible funnel is I'm sure you've heard of AIDA. And if you haven't, it's a framework that's over 100 years old. And it mirrors how people actually make buying decisions. And so what it is getting their attention, creating interest in what you have, and then desire around what you have. And then, of course, inviting them to take action, whatever that looks like, booking a call, etc. So how your LinkedIn profile supports AIDA is your headline, your banner, and your profile image are gathering the attention. So we want to make sure that that is excellent, right? Your about section is the interesting part. Your featured section and your social proof is the desire. Like, oh, this is great. What does she have? What's the offer? Oh, I would love to, hop in. And then the action is the call to action. And here's the thing. A lot of people don't have a lead magnet in their profile, which again is part of this funnel, right? Making sure that you have somewhere that they can click and you're bringing them into your world, even off of LinkedIn. Get them on your email list, right? We all know the email list really is king. LinkedIn is awesome, but the email list is king. So this is your silent conversion tool. So here's the daily habits checklist. Again, this will be in the playbook. So this is what you want to do every day. You want to be sending out 20 to 40 personalized invites to your second and third level connections. You're going to be welcoming those new connections, wait a day or so again, or you can welcome them right away when they connect with you. A few days later, 5, 7 days later, send a hand raiser message. What is it that you would like them to do? Would you like them to take a look at your lead magnet? Do you want them to book a call? Do you want them to come to your event? Whatever it may be. Again, non-spammy, a pretty short message, getting them to raise their hand and say, oh, I'd love to learn more about that. Or yeah, count me in. The congratulate milestones, birthdays, that type of thing. You're going to reach out once you see those notifications every day of who's got a birthday, new role, that type of thing. Check who's checking out your profile and inviting them into your world. Following up lightly with some of those that are really warm leads in your first connections that you can offer what you have, whether you have an ongoing list, a spreadsheet or something like that you can reach out to. Post once a week, of course, and we talked about that as far as just mixing that up a little bit. Comment meaningfully on their posts, liking, commenting, and, positioning yourself as the expert. And then tracking all those responses and just in the follow-up, right? The fortunes in the follow-up, following up. I know for a long time, we do all the things and then we're like, wow, I didn't follow up. So that's really important. Excuse me. So another important thing of LinkedIn is they have a social selling index. It's around your credibility, right? And it scores your activity using 4 pillars to equal a total score of 100. And there's 25 for each of these, and it's based on your branding, your connecting, your engaging, your messaging, which obviously a higher score gives you more visibility and of course trust. And again, consistency is going to boost your score. So here we are. The consistency is key. And if you'd like help implementing all of this, you can. Everything I gave you up to this point, you can absolutely do on your own. But I'm here to help, and we've got the software to do it. And what this does is everything from 1 to 5 on the habits, the 7 habits. So what you would be left with out of that is just actually replying to all these people that are that are commenting and reaching out to you saying, "Hey, I'm interested," or whatever that looks like. Um, so this is very safe and it boosts visibility with a human-like scrolling. It mimics human behavior. It's not like there's a lot of extensions out there that are, they're I don't even know how much they are, but they're maybe $50 a month or something. But what they're doing is they're scraping, and LinkedIn picks up on that. This is not that. This software, well, it's been around for over 10 years. I have white labeled it, and the gentleman that I have it under, he has sold over $120 million worth of business. His clients have. He's had over 10,000 clients. Nobody has been blocked or flagged. They've had a flag, but then when they went back and found out it was not related to this software. So this is very, very safe. He takes that very seriously. So we want to definitely emphasize that. There is AI baked into it, so this will help you find your ideal client profile, and it's really spot on. I have a couple people on here, well, Linda being one of them, but actually Dave was the one I think on the call, but it really is spot on your ideal client profile, helping you generate that. And then, of course, taking that over to Sales Navigator. So Sales Navigator is required for this, but I mean, you wouldn't be able to do it without it. What it does is we help you set all this up. The onboarding process is an hour or so, going through all your messaging, making sure that it's good. And, there's AI for the messaging as well, but there's even a little check mark on there to make sure that a human has read this because we don't want anything spammy going out. We help you set up your Sales Navigator to really hone in on your ideal client. And then we, combine those two. We take that link from Sales Navigator and put that into Elevate Connect. And then it's just running in the background, reaching out. And it's, sporadic throughout the day. So it's real. And then also there are boosters, which you can add on to that as far as you have an event going, you can add that on in the background. That's maybe another 50 people on top of the 40 that you're reaching out to a day. It does automatically birthday messages, congratulatory messages, all of that. So um, again, Linda and I joked, I mean, the biggest problem you're going to have is keeping up with the people that, that are getting into your calendar or just reaching out to you. So